Modern work culture operates on a very specific, unquestioned assumption. If you want to succeed, you have to force it. We treat every goal like a solid brick wall, and our daily execution is the sledgehammer. But swinging that hammer costs finite willpower. Eventually, the dopamine depletes, the nervous system fries, and you crash into a state of chronic overwhelm. We call this powerless, reactive state the diminished self. The British philosopher Alan Watts noticed this mechanical flaw in how we operate. He called it the law of reverse effort. The mechanism is simple. The very act of straining for a result generates a counterpressure. By trying to force the outcome, you ensure that your mind is too tense to actually execute the skill required to reach it. To find a way out of this trap, we have to look back to the ancient text of the Taoist philosopher Zhuangzi and his parable of a master butcher named Cook Ding. An ordinary butcher uses sheer strength to hack through bone, destroying his blade in a month. But Cook Ding has used the exact same knife to carve thousands of oxen over 19 years, and the edge is as sharp as the day it was forged. Ding's secret isn't a stronger swing. He doesn't hack at all. Instead, he guides the razor-thin blade strictly through the natural hollows and empty spaces between the joints. He applies the blade where the resistance is exactly zero. Sustainable execution relies on the ability to perceive these great hollows in your own situation, guiding your efforts through the gaps where the world offers no resistance. Zhuangzi perfectly illustrates how we lose this frictionless state in another story about an archer. When shooting for a cheap buckle, the archer is flawless, but when the prize is pure gold, he trembles, panics, and misses the target entirely. The archer hasn't suddenly forgotten how to shoot. His physical skill is intact. What collapses is his internal state, entirely because his focus shifted away from the action itself and locked on to the external reward. Modern neuroscience gives us a biological explanation for this ancient parable. Psychiatrist Ian McGilchrist describes this as the dominance of the left-brain emissary. The emissary operates with narrow, competitive attention. It slices up reality, looking only to grasp and manipulate, snapping onto external metrics. This dominance ruins flow. By measuring motion against an external stake, the emissary introduces friction that breaks our ability. The antidote to this breakdown is what McGilchrist calls the right brain master. This hemisphere provides a global, sustained, and highly receptive awareness of the entire environment. To enter a state of effortless action, what the Taoists call Wu-Wei, you have to quiet the self-evaluating ego. Biologically, this is known as transient hypofrontality, where the default mode network powers down, completely silencing your inner critic. Executing in this zone requires a two-step sequence. First is state 0, maintaining an open, uncalculated presence and spatial awareness. Only then do you move to state 1, the actual physical execution of the task. Mastery happens when your actions arise spontaneously from the master's holistic context. You let your intuition guide the tool, bypassing the emissary's anxious calculations entirely. So how do we stop hacking at the bone and start gliding through the empty spaces? We need a hard operational model to map this flow state onto the realities of modern life. Think of your life as a system under pressure from 3 distinct vectors: personal obligations and relationships, private shadows and anxieties, and professional metrics and institutional noise. We call this the 3P model. When you try to brute force your way through these vectors with the left-brain emissary, you enter the state of the diminished self. Your internal capacity is less than the external pressure, and the load crushes you. To escape this collapse, you must execute a core cognitive tool called metanoia. It means to literally change your mind, shifting your internal polarization away from the panicked emissary and rooting it firmly in the calm authority of the master. This cognitive shift creates the sovereign inversion. Your internal gravity expands until the sovereign self is strictly greater than the 3 pressures acting upon it. Notice that the pressure doesn't disappear. You don't retreat to a quiet mountaintop. Instead, you stop fighting the vectors and start using their friction as rotational energy, stabilizing your entire system like a spinning gyroscope. This yields a synthesis of 3 values. You begin with your technical skill, the 1. You add the void of non-attachment, the 0. And the result is the 3, the state of effortless mastery. Your next steps are strictly operational. Run an interface check to isolate where friction is burning you out, document your pressure points, and execute the system reboot. Head over to the vault at journey.czwx.xyz to pull the complete framework. Stay limber and abide.